ओम सर्व गोचरम तम गोचरम गोविंदम परमानंदम सद्गुरुं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्. ओम शांति शांति शांति. Trying to study Sri Shankaracharya's greatest book, the Viveka Chudamani, and we have seen up till now that this Viveka is not the ordinary Viveka which is considered to be the preliminary to Vedanta sadhana, but this is the Viveka which we require till the end of our spiritual sadhana. In two ways we have seen that what I have achieved, is it not final? Something still remains. This must be clearly understood. And also, the crust which is on my reality has to be removed. These two types of viveka we require till the end of life. And that is why the name given is that viveka is the crest jewel of all the spiritual merits. And we have seen that Manushatva, Mumukshutva, and help or support of the Mahapurushas is very, very rare, and it is only by the divine grace that we get it. And in spite of that, if we do not try for mukti, then we are like suiciders. And then in the sixth shloka, we saw that reciting Shastras, making yajnas for devatas, doing other karmas, worshipping devatas, that will not lead to mukti, because the nature of mukti is to realize that there is no difference between me and God. So, Atmakya Bodhena Vinapi Muktir, Na Siddhati Brahma Shatantarepi. And then in the seventh we saw with the help of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya telling Maitreyi that by wealth you can never hope for immortality, which means that work will not lead us to mukti. And also, so one must make effort for mukti after giving up the desire or getting any happiness, pleasure from outside, and we must take resort to a guru which is of greater heart. And what he tells us, we have to put our whole being into that teaching, then only we can realize. And then in the Sansara Varidhi, we have first to attain the Yoga Rudhatva, which comes only after doing proper work. And then with the Samyak Darshana Nishtha, we have to lift ourselves above this question of the world. And when we come to that Atma Bhyasya Upasthite, that means when we are able to feel Atman during our meditation, then no further coming down to the field of work should be there, but for the sake of vimukti from Avabandhan, the man who has felt the Atman Pandit, he has to make effort only for the mukti. And then we saw that chittasya shuddhaya karma natu vastu palabhaye. Karma is absolutely essential for mental purification, though it does not give us the realization, and that realization comes for vichar. This vichara is not a dry thinking. This vichara is not the work of a brain. This vichara is not a cogitation. This is the same viveka of which we are talking, that we must go on analyzing and removing the crust from our mind. Then only we get was to develop the experience of the reality. Up to that we read last time, Shloka 11. Now we continue to read Shloka 12. Samyak vicharata siddha rajju tattva Brantodita Mahasarpa Bhaya Dukkha Vinashini. So in this he has put the example of this Viveka, that a rope appears as the snake. In semi-darkness, we see something, some shape or something. Now, where from this rope comes, we do not know. Rope does not come from the snake, does not come from the rope. Neither snake goes back to the rope. Snake vanishes. And that only by discrimination. Right discrimination. Right discrimination will tell us, actually light only will tell us that this is a rope. So the full knowledge only will tell us this is the rope. But if we guide our thinking in that direction, that will be helpful. Samyak Vicharata means according to the right knowledge, we have to think. According to what the rishis have told us, we have to think. And we have to, this is only an example. The exemplified is that my real nature is Atman, absolutely non-changing, absolutely universal, absolutely transcendent immanent being. That can be only my real nature and not anything else which appears on it, like the body, indriyas, mind, eye, and all that. This is Samyak Vichar. And then this snake goes away. Example, when this identification, attachment or identification with everything which is not myself, when that goes away, then we are saved from a great fear and misery. Great fear of death, great fear of dying again and again, and misery as a result of that, misery as a result of every desire that we have. If the desire is not fulfilled, it is misery. If the desire is fulfilled, it leaves a sanskara and we try it again and it will end in misery only. We have read during our study of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. There he has said, Parinama tapa sanskara dukkhair gunavrutti virodhacha dukkhameva sarvam vivekina. We know that as a result of pleasure, misery comes. When we are enjoying, due to anxiety, there is misery. It leaves an impression and we seek more and more, that causes misery. And even if we avoid all that, our desires themselves contradict each other and we get misery. That nobody can avoid. So this misery can be avoided only when we know of a real nature. Then there is no mind or there is no desire and there is no vritti virod and there is no sanskar and there is no parinam. So this happens only when we know that we are real. So in the example of Rajju and Sarpa, this is given. So like Sarpa appear in rope, where so many things are appearing as I, and I. And that is not real. So when this discrimination leads to the realization, then only our fear and our misery goes away. 13. Arthasya nishchayo drishto vichareण hitokitah न स्नानेन न दानेन प्राणायामशतेन वा अर्थस्य निश्चयो. Artha, the meaning of the Vedanta. Artha, Brahma Satya Jagan Nitya. Artha, Brahmatmaikya. This is the Artha. Artha, Nishchaya. Nishchaya means firmness. Firmness does not come by argument, please. When the propensity comes, when the fear comes, all arguments are lost. Firmness comes only when we have realized it. Firmness comes only when we have permanently experienced it. So, Arthasya Nishchaya Drishto means is Vicharena, by removal of all the superimpositions, by the removal of the different crust, by the analysis continuously that this is not yet full gold, then only the Arthasya Nishchaya comes. But there is a basic condition in all that. Basic condition, Hito Uktitaha. So after all the talk of Viveka and Vichara, Shankar here has reminded us, Hitoktita. Hitoktita means when the Mahapurush tells us, for the sake of our betterment, for our welfare, Hitokti means for our welfare, for our realization. The Mahapurush has a more pain than we have. Mahapurush is more anxious that we should realize than we are, because the Mahapurush has realized it. And for him, he is identical with the world. So he is not feeling kindness, he is feeling identification. He feels that if in this body it has been realized, why not in that body? And where it is potentially possible, there he exerts more. Mahapurush exerts more in that body where it is possible. He sees that it is possible and then he puts his maximum effort. His pain in our not realization is much more than what we can feel because our mind is digressed here and there. So when he speaks Tattvamasi, when he guides us, then only we can think properly. Our thinking, our mind is continuously working in Maya and impossible for us to think independently. We may understand the Shastra, but as Shankara has said, Shastrajnopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat. So here, after the vichar, they have introduced the word hitoktita. Hitoktita, when the proper guidance is given for benefiting us, and then we start our thinking. Continuously, when we are thinking, he is guiding us. Then only uh, we reach the goal. On the other side, if we take bath, we may feel temporary some purity. If we make charity, our heart will expand, but that does not give realization. And in the yoga practices, pranayama shatena, some people out of their foolishness, over yearning, without proper understanding, go on doing pranayama. Patanjali's yoga just tells pranayama for the one of the steps, but people spend their whole life in pranayama. They may get different physical powers, but not kumbhaka. They may bury themselves and feel like samadhi for 1 month, but that is nothing to do with the realization. So external actions will not lead. That is emphasized side by side. The removal of the crust, the removal, the analysis that we have not yet reached the goal. These are spoken of as the main means, but base of all this is hitokti. When the Guru tells us, then only we can do all this. 14. अधिकारिणम आशास्ते फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः उपायः देशकालाद्यः सन्ति अस्मिन् सहकारिणा. Now base. How everybody does not realize. How the Guru tells everybody, and some people understand, some people wrongly understand, some people reversely understand, some people think it is impossible. Hardly anybody fully understands and goes ahead. Why? Because the base is not there. And that base is called adhikar. Adhikar, mind you, it is not the Western idea of rights and duties that is thrown out. Adhikar is nothing external. That he should have taken sannyas, that he should be a man, not a woman, that he should be a Brahmin and not Kshatriya, nothing of that sort. Adhikar is the state of the mind. And that state of the mind also is not a particular state, it is a continuity. That means we have started struggle. We have started trying to control our mind. We have started to control our body and physical organs. We have started to. What is that Adhikari Shankar himself will explain, but I am telling in short. We have started bearing all heat, cold, praise, blame, insult, honor, everything has to be thoroughly, we must bear it completely. We must put our mind in God always. And we must have the proper vivek and we must have the vairagya and we must have keen desire to realize this is called adhikar. If this is not there, hundreds of Upadeshas can be given, but nothing happens. So here Shankara is emphasizing the base. Who realizes and who does not? Adhikarinam ashaste. There is hope only about the adhikari. Phala siddhir visheshata. In his case only, the phala siddhi will come. What is phala siddhi? We put a seed in the ground. It does not become fruit. The ankur comes, the stem comes, the branches come, the leaves come, the flowers come, and then only the fruit comes. So, phala siddhi means spiritual life rising to the point of complete success. That is called phala siddhi. Unless there is the base, it cannot happen. So many people hear about Vedanta and they go on discussing Vedanta, nothing happens. So, Visheshata, the special consideration is whether your base is ready or not. And we have seen that base comes after proper work. So, it is the work for purification which has given you the base. And until the base is there, the Phalasiddhi will not come. Now, there are other means, proper time you should meditate, in proper place you should sit. Shankar says all these are secondary helps. If the adhikari is not there, every every proper place he can find, but place will not make him realize, time will not make him realize, they may be the secondary helps. Santi asmin sahakarina, auxiliary helps. They become helpful to you only when we have the adhikar. And so, upay, that which is known as means, deshakaladi, they are known as means, but they are helpful means, not the main means. The main hope is only for one who is fit. Now, what is fitness? He explains now from here. अतो विचारः कर्तव्यो जिज्ञासोर आत्मवस्तुनः समासाद्य दया सिंधुम गुरुम ब्रह्म विदुत्तमम. Again he has come to that. Manushyattvam, Mumkshattvam, Mahaprusha Sanshiraya. This is continuously is reminding us. So, because of that, we must do proper thinking. Thinking, feeling, will, they are secondary names. We must be analytical. We must be ready to give up everything which is not I. We must not stop anywhere in the way. So this vichar has to be done. Who? Adhikar itself is put in another term now. Atma vastuna jigyasa. What is the jigyasa is very important to understand. Ordinarily, jigyasa is translated as curiosity. It is not at all curiosity. You know, out of curiosity, what happens? When the scientists came to know that we are seeing only one side of the moon because of its revolution, they became curious what is on the other side. Then so many years, so much brain of the scientists, millions of dollars, and they were able to send a rocket first to the other side of the moon. And they found there is nothing called other side. There is not a mark there that this side and that side. And what is this side is same as that side. This is curiosity. So, jigyasa is not curiosity. Shankara has defined this jigyasa in his commentary to the Brahma Sutras in the very beginning. He says this is such a keen desire, yearning, which will not stop till we have realized the goal, till we have known and achieved our real nature, the desire which does not stop. Avagati Parentam Jnanam, that is the object of the desire for realization. Every verb we say there is an object. The jigyasa is such a word that its object is knowledge till full realization. Avagati Paryantam Jnanam. So till we realize that which will not stop, this is jigyasa. And the adhikari feels this jigyasa. Jigyasa is not curiosity. Let me know what is in Vedanta. Let me know what is in yoga. Let me know what is in this. Let me know. Nothing happens by that. When one becomes totally one-pointed, I will not stop till I realize the goal of life. That jigyasa, atmavastuna, about the one's own real nature, this jigyasa is proceeding. This jigyasa is proceeding towards the realization of one's own goal. And till we achieve that, this discrimination, this filtration will go on. But after something, and that is samasadya daya sindhum gurum, brahmavid uttamam. Samyak asadya, rightly going to a guru. It is not just casual. Hello, sir, will you teach me that? No. With the right attitude, that is, he who is going to give me knowledge. When approaches a guru, and again he says that that guru should be Mahantam Mantlesi he had said, Daya Sindhu should be the ocean of mercy. Because endless pains he takes so that every disciple attains Brahmajnan. So he has such an heart, he has such a compassionate heart, such a guru unless we go. Professors in the university will not be able to give us that unless we go to such a guru who is sympathy itself. Daya Sindhum, the ocean of mercy. And also, he should have it to give us, na? One may be ocean of mercy, but if he does not have that knowledge, how can he give? So Brahmavid Uttamam. Brahmavid means some people may be theoretically knowing definition of Brahman. Some people might have experienced it to some extent. But Uttamam Brahmavid, one who has fully realized it and has the full heart. Such a guru we must properly approach. And then only our vichar will function. Then only our jigyasa will rightly proceed. Then only our adhikar will fructify. So we must engage ourselves in vichar. Kartavya means essential that we do it. Kartavya does not mean duty here. Kartavya means vichar has to be done. Vichar is absolutely essential for one who wants to not stop till he realizes his own real nature, Atmavastuna, Jigyasa, and this is possible only when we properly take resort to a guru who is the ocean of compassion and who is the best of the Brahmavids. Best is not comparative here, please. Best is not we are comparing 10 gurus. Like in, say, examinations, third class, second class, first class, letter marks, they are not comparison between two boys. They are the excellences given by that boy. So, best means one who has realized. That is called the best of the guru. So, such a guru we must properly approach. Then only there is a hope. Now, Adhikar is further stated what capacity we should have. मेधावी पुरुषो विद्वान् ऊहापोह विचक्षणः अधिकारी आत्मविद्यायाम् उक्तलक्षणलक्षितः. Who is the adhikari? He should be medhavi. What is medha? Granthartha dharana shakti. Granthartha dharana shakti. The capacity to conceptualize what is given in the books. The capacity to conceptualize what the guru is teaching. That is called medhavi. Not that intelligent, very intelligence has various types. In one place, Swami Vivekananda tells his friend, if you have the intelligence to understand, then you will understand. So intelligence to understand is a different intelligence. And intelligence to think, solve mathematical problems is a different intelligence. So Medhavi means one who can catch, conceptualize, dharana of the given truths. Purusho, again, one who is making self-effort. Vidwan, Vidwan means one who has properly heard the Shastras. One who has properly heard the Shastras is called Vidwan. Uha poha vichakshana. He should be able to analyze. He should be expert in the field of analysis. That is what the Viveka is. Viveka, which is the Chudamani. He should be an expert in analyzing whether he has realized the goal or not. He should be an expert in analyzing what are the crust and what is the reality. He is an expert in this field. Vivaha poha vichakshana. All this sounds like something intellectual. That is not intellectual at all. Intellectual will understand. Atman is like this, Atman is like that. That is objectively you are thinking. You are not thinking about yourself. So Uha Vichakshana is about own real nature. Atma Vastuna Jigyasa. So these are the things we require. You don't say, I don't understand. No, you must understand. Medhavi Purusho Vidwan Uha Vichakshana. That is called the Adhikari of Atma Vidya. Of the Vidya about his own real nature. Ukta Lakshana Lakshita. Ukta Lakshana Lakshita means these are the characteristics, but actually Ukta Lakshana Lakshita means will be told in the coming shlokas. Medhavi Purusho Vidwan Huha Vichakshana, how it becomes like that, that we will be told in the coming shlokas. And this Adhikarinam Ashaste Phalasiddhir Visheshata. So these are the connected shlokas. Now he tells what is the steps to achieve this adhikar. How one becomes this Guhapo Vichakshana. Vivekino Viraktasya Shamadi Gunashalinah Mukshor Evahi Brahma Jigyasa Yogyata Mata. Brahma Jigyasa Yogyata. Again. So it cannot be curiosity. The intensity of the desire which does not stop till we realize the goal. For that one should be having the capacity, jigyasa yogyata, fitness or the capacity to feel that desire which will not stop till we realize the goal. That is, mata means that is what has been thought of by the realized people. One who has, in short, viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shat sampatti, 6 qualities, samadhi, guna shalina. Shalina means one whose nature has become like that. One who is continuously practicing that. One whose nature has become like that. And main thing is mumukshu. One whose desire to get free is very, very keen. So, what is Viveka? This Viveka is the preliminary Viveka. He must have the capacity to understand that which is not permanent cannot be real. That which is impermanent has to be unreal. That is the meaning of the Viveka preliminary. Preliminary, the meaning of Viveka is, it is called in 2 different words, meaning the same thing. Satya Satya Vastu Vivek or Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivek. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivek is the way to reach Satya Satya Vastu Vivek. What is real and what is unreal, it is difficult in the beginning. But what is permanent and what is temporary, everybody who is pure enough can see that. If the mind is running after the objects of the world, one cannot feel that. So when the mind is relatively calm, when the mind is not running after the objects of the world, one can see that everything in the world, everything in the outside world, everything in my body, everything in my organs, everything in my indriyas, everything in my mind, everything even in this high consciousness is continuously changing. Sometimes you do not see the continuously changing, but after some gap it changes. I very clearly an impression was made on my mind. I think I referred to it in some other class. I was in Patna and we were just strolling in the ashram. One old man came with a small girl. It flashed in my mind that this small baby also has a high consciousness. And when she becomes old, what will remain of that high consciousness? Some memory, nothing else. Not all memory also. Then where is this high consciousness? High consciousness of a small child is totally different from high consciousness of an old man, old person. So up till that, everything is changing. And we must have the capacity to understand that which it changes cannot be real. What is changing? How do you call a thing? If this table is not what it was yesterday, then which I call the table? That which was yesterday or that which is today? So and so, Mr. So and so, Arun, Anil. There is a name given. It is not the same Arun which was 12 years back. So, thing which is changing cannot be called a thing, it is unreal. Some people wrongly, that Sri Krishna's definition is different than Shankaracharya. Funny thing come to our mind. They say Shankar talks of Satya, Satya, Sri Krishna talks of Nitya, Nitya. Sri Krishna has said, Satya, Satya Vichar, Satya Kina, Jeta Nitya. Asatya Kina, Jeta Anitya. That means Nitya and Anitya are the means to understand Satya and Asatya. That is the connection. Otherwise, Satya and Asatya will remain a theoretical something. This Viveka is the basis of the spiritual struggle. So, Medhavi Purusho Vidwan Uhapo Vichakshana will come only when we have this basis. And he has said Adhikarinam Ashaste. So, the first point in this Adhikar is the capacity to know who has this capacity. One who has purified himself by work. Otherwise, we see millions and millions of people in this world. They don't have the capacity to understand permanent and what is impermanent, and they don't have the capacity to understand what is real and unreal. So the first quality to be earned is viveka. Then comes viraktasya. That means one who has vairagya. That is virakta. And what is vairagya? I am compelled to refer to something, please here. Though it is out of the way. But on this point, I can tell you. There is a book, Tattva Bodha. And take it from me, it is not by Shankaracharya. Wrongly we understand that. Because the language there is insipid, flat, informative. And Shankar's Vivek Chudamani, if we see, Shankar's any work we see is a force. Their Vairagya is defined as, I'm not so much interested in this or that, indifference. Vairagya is not indifference. Vairagya is a force pulling us away from the world. That is Vairagya. From this one word, we can understand that that book is not by Shankaracharya. The opening verse is not at all applies to Govindacharya. Somehow or other we try here and there and make it realize that. Anyway, that is a side issue, but I am telling you, Vairagya means this passion. We have a passion, just opposite to that. I will give one or two examples. We are hungry and the best food is kept in front. But before we eat, somebody tells there is poison in that food. Do we have tendency to eat? Even more strongly, eh, in the Marathi language, one sentence is there. We are going to eat. I'm telling in English only. We are going to eat. and a fly enters our mouth, goes in the system. What happens? Can we eat? Do we have desire to eat? Or we have non-desire to eat? We are desire to run away. We are desire to do something because that vomiting has started. Or the chance, nausea has come. Can we eat at that time? That is vairagya. When we see some object of enjoyment, do we feel like running away? That is vairagya. If we see some object of enjoyment, we are not interested. That is not vairagya. If we see an object of enjoyment, we want to run away from that. That is vairagya. So, viveka next is vairagya. This vivek should not remain a dry intellectual cogitation to pass in the examination, definition, what is real and what is unreal. No, this viveka is a living viveka. It must result in the desire to run away from everything that is called enjoyment. Shankar will further explain this vairagya, but the very word suggests this. And then man tries himself first. And what he tries? That I should control my mind. Because if the mind is not under control, all these are meaningless. So he tries for Shama. If the body and the indriyas are not under control, all this becomes useless. Not that we have to be perfect in that, but we have to flow in this direction. Dhamma, Uparati, that means the tendency of the mind to go outside should be controlled, should not be there. One should not have the tendency to go outside. That is Uparati. Titiksha, the very nature of the world is dual. Where heat is there, cold is there. Where praise is there, blame is there. Where honor is there, disrespect is there, insult is there. Don't think that, I will tell some funny incidents. Don't think that people praise you for your good qualities and blame you for your bad qualities. No, no, no. For the same thing will be praised, for the same thing will be blamed. One example I can give. If a sannyasi does not look at woman, some people will praise, oh, what great renunciation he has. Others will say, unsocial element. There is another sannyasi who mixes freely with everybody, loves everybody. Some people will praise, oh, this is a good sannyasi. Other will say he's a bhogi. He wants to enjoy. Where will you go? Like this, for every respect, a disrespect is waiting for you. So, that is the nature of the world. And if you become affected by that, some people are affected by praise, not by blame. Some politicians or some people in the society, you blame them. He thinks that, oh, this man does not understand, so he's blaming. And if you praise them, you can get anything done by them. They melt in your praise. Some people are of the other type. If you praise them, they say, yes, that is natural. If you blame them, then they see the reaction. This is not spiritual merit. Whether he praises or blames, I have to go in my own way. I am not to be affected by people's praise or blame. So that is the titiksha. Titiksha is not only bearing heat and cold. No. Some people saw in Rishikesh and all those places. In hot summer, sadhus lie on the sand, hot sand. And in cold, they stand in Ganges water. And he was so much impressed, he comes and tells to Mahapuruji in Belur Math. He said, my boy, that is physical. Real titiksha is praise and blame, honor and dishonor. There the mind is not affected because the world is unreal. So this is called titiksha. Samadhan, here Shankar is going to explain each word forcefully. Samadhan, ordinarily, if you see in dictionary, Samadhan is satisfaction. Now, how we get satisfied? If we eat something, Samadhan. After some time, again hungry. Anything which given to us, we feel Samadhan. Shankar says, Samyak Adhan. Samyak Adhan, rightly keeping. What is rightly keeping? Keeping the mind in God. That is Samadhan. Some attempt, Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, some attempt towards what we feel as God. If we form this habit, then only we are adhikari. Our adhikar will come only when we are trying at least to put our mind in God. Not without that. This is Samadhan. And then Shraddha. Shraddha again is a funny word. Swami Vivekananda said, in the absence of Shraddha, Bharati is going down. Now, what is Shraddha? In Punjab, I have seen, I am not blaming anybody. Some big fat Swami goes to somebody's house. The ladies come forward, take out his socks first, wash his feet in water, and drink that water, and they say, Vaya Shraddha. Some people say, Arjuna even said, if you have Shraddha, we need not think. If you have Shraddha, we need not go to Shastras. That is not Shraddha at all. Shraddha here, Shankar will define nicely. I will try to put it in my own words. I do not see the transcendental truth. I do not experience the supersensuous truths. But the Shastras, those who have given Shastras, they see the supersensuous truths. My Guru sees the supersensuous truth. So I believe no. And he is telling me the way by which I can experience that. And let me try. If I go by the methods he has told, I will also experience. Then let me try. This much is the content of Shraddha. Shraddha means I do not see, he sees, and he is telling me the way to see. And if I do like that, I will also see. So let me try. This much is included in the word Shraddha. And this is Adhikar, part of Adhikar. So we have counted six there. Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhana, and Shraddha. This is called a group, Shamadhi Gunashalina. And the desire for liberation, without that, Shankar will show here. Without that, all will become meaningless. Mumukshor eva he, only he who possesses this, or only one who is flowing in this life. Not that he becomes perfect in that. Continuity of these things, one who is flowing in this life. Brahma Jigyasa Yogyata Mata. Then only the real jnanis will tell us, yes, he has the capacity to feel that desire which will not stop till he realizes God. So one has to get the desire which will not stop till he realizes God. On the basis of these merits, he gets that desire. So now we understand Medhavi Purusho Vidwan Huapo Vichakshana. All that he becomes if he has this, he understands what the Guru is telling. He, he has sufficient wisdom. Vidwan means wisdom here. And he can analyze rightly whether he has realized or not. He can remove the crust which is on him. This is Uhapo Vichakshana, and it is on the basis of this. Now let us see what they are. साधनानि अत्र चत्वारि कथितानि मनीषिवे येषु सत्सेव सन्निष्ठा यद अभावेन सिद्ध्यति. So these four means actually nine, huh? Because the third means consists of six. So 1 plus 5. But four means Atra, in this respect, he has already given the names, and now he is telling that in this respect, four means sadhanani, kathitani manishivi. Manishi means the wise people who control their mind, who know everything about the mind. They have told us that these four are the means of Yeshu Satsu Eva Sannishta. If they are there, you can have a steadfastness in truth. You can have a steadfastness until you realize the goal of life. You can have a steadfastness until you come to the supreme truth of life, which is Brahman, Atman. So, Sat Nishtha. Nishtha means steadfastness till you realize the goal. This is possible only if these four means are there. So, and if they are not there, that's not possible. Tad abhave na siddhyati. So that is called the essential means, which being there you succeed, which not being there you do not succeed. No, this is not a matter for depression. I don't have this. This is only the line in which we have to travel. We have to struggle on these lines, and then we are fit enough. Now, in what order we get this? आदौ नित्यानित्यवस्तु एकः परिगण्यते यः मुत्र फल भोग विरागा तदनन्तरं शमादि षट्क संपत्तिर्मुक्षत्वम इति स्फुटम. He says स्फुटम means it is very clear that begins with here Shankara has also used the word nitya nitya vastu ek only, because that is the way we can think. How can we suddenly jump that this is real and this is unreal? But if we are calm in mind, we can very easily see that everything in this world is temporary. Changing is the nature of this world. Here I will tell you one thing. A method of meditation called Vipassana is becoming fastly popular in India. And it leads only to this point, please. It does not reach you the goal, not at all. But it will enable us to see that in our body and in the world, everything is changing continuously. This Vipassana, we need not do Vipassana, but I am telling you, Vipassana leads to this point only. We can calmly thinking, understand. So, Adav, the spiritual life starts with this Parigannate, means counted. The first counted is that Nitya Vastu Eka. The mind should be prone to this. Now, even in practical life, some people will purchase something which is attractive. Some people will purchase something which is durable. This is Viveka. It may be attractive and it may break in 2 days. And that is durable. May not be so much attractive, but it is durable. Relatively, I am telling. So the whole life should be guided by durability. The whole life should be guided by permanency. The whole life should be guided by durability and permanency in comparison to attractive and temporary things. That is Nitya Vastu. The whole life has to flow in this light. Not only Vedanta, Nitya, the whole life has to be guided by this. Now you find the difference in people. 99, so many people go for that which is attractive and they are deluded. So, Nitya Vastu Ek is a trend of life. Everywhere see whether this thing is durable or not. See whether this thing is going to stand permanently or not. Compared to other thing which is similar to that, which is not permanent, but which is temporary, but which is not durable. This is the first point. Then Vairagya. He defines here Vairagya. Iha amutra phala bhoga vira. Amutra means after death. Amutra means there. Amutra means Swarga. Amutra means better life. What we are doing? We enjoy some fruits of some work which you have done in this life or in the next. Deferred payment life. We'll control, we'll do so many religious practices so that we earn some punya and go to heaven and enjoy that. But a tendency, a force of non-enjoyment comes. That is vairagya. Iha amutra phala bhoga virag. Phala bhoga virag means we do work and we get the result, that is phala. And we enjoy that. Bhoga. This tendency of enjoying the fruits of our own actions, whether in this world or in the next, that tendency, against that tendency, the mind should work. I don't want anything which is earned by my work and I will eat that. No. Then what will you do? I have to remove things from me. I have not to get something new. I have to remove things from me which is not me. My body is not me. Remove does not mean throw away the body. Remove means to understand, to feel, to experience that I am not this body. So this is called Vairagya. Here, Amutra Phala Bhoga, the tendency to enjoy the fruits of our own work. That has to be given up. Viraga Tadanantara. After we analyze what is permanent and impermanent, all this is impermanent. We may go to Swarga and again we have to come back. That is impermanent. And then the cultivation of Samadhi, Shatka Sampatti. And then will the desire for liberation become strong. Mumuksha, mukshattam iti sfutam. It is clear that this is the line in which we have to conduct our life. Then he will explain each word again clearly. Here he has given the sequence and a lot of things he has to explain in order to give that force to us by which we can realize the goal of life. So we are in this Viveka Chudamani. Today we could read 19 up to 19 shlokas. Last time we had gone up to 6 or 7. 7, 11 we had gone up to 11 last time. Today we have gone up to 19. So 8 shlokas we read today. And we'll slowly, with the help of Shankaracharya, will surely come on the right way and will surely realize the goal of life. Om Sarva Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti